Hello there, classic rock fans, and welcome back to the channel. We love when the world of incredible music meets the silver screen. So we thought, why not do it all over again? Here we are with part 2 of our deep dive into rock star cameos in film history. We're looking at iconic appearances from guitar gods facing off against the devil to punk rock legends showing up in a heist. If you love music and movies, please do consider subscribing to the channel. Let the show begin. Our first stop takes us to the 1986 film Crossroads. It's this fantastic story about a young, classically trained guitarist played by Ralph Macchio who is completely obsessed with the blues. He's on this quest to find a lost song by the legendary Robert Johnson, a journey that leads him into the heart of American music folklore. The film builds towards this incredible high-stakes climax, a guitar duel for a man's very soul. And when you need someone to play the devil's chosen guitarist, you can't just cast anyone. You need someone who looks and sounds like they have supernatural talent. You need a true guitar virtuoso. Enter the one and only Steve Vai as Jack Butler. Now, Vai was already a legend, having played with Frank Zappa and Alcatraz before joining David Lee Roth's band. When he swaggers on screen, all leather and smirking confidence, he is the absolute embodiment of a rock god. He doesn't have many lines, but he doesn't need them. His presence is all attitude, swagger, and unbelievable skill. He is the final boss, the ultimate challenge, a guitarist so good he could only have gotten his skills from a deal with the devil. It's perfect casting. The duel itself is movie magic and music legend. It's this epic battle aptly named Eugene's Trick Bag, where Eugene has to outplay Butler to win back his friend's soul. Here's the brilliant behind-the-scenes truth. While Ry Cooder played Eugene's parts for most of the film for this final duel, Steve Vai recorded both sides as Jack Butler, and he also played Eugene's winning classical solo. So Steve Vai is essentially dueling himself and has to lose to himself. It's wonderful trivia that deepens the magic. When you watch it, you believe it. You're on the edge as they trade musical blows, each more impressive than the last. Vai's performance as Butler is so convincing, so intimidating that it elevates the entire film. It's not just a cameo, it's a pivotal role, and he absolutely nails it. We ride into the Old West with 1990 film Young Guns 2. This sequel continues the story of Billy the Kid, with Emilio Estevez reprising his role. The producers wanted a song for the soundtrack, and that search led them to Jon Bon Jovi. He penned what would become Blaze of Glory, a soaring anthem that captured the film's spirit and went on to top the charts. The filmmakers gave him a small cameo in the movie's opening. For just a second, there he is, Jon Bon Jovi. His contribution to the film was immense. Sometimes a cameo captures an entire vibe. Flea from the Red Hot Chili Peppers in the Pauly Shore comedy Son-in-Law is a perfect example. He plays a tattoo artist, bringing his authentic punk rock spirit to the scene. Flea's quirky, high-energy presence commands your attention. It's this natural charisma that makes the scene so genuine and funny. It's a small moment, but one everyone remembers, a testament to Flea's screen presence. It all translates perfectly to this little scene. It's a beautiful example of how a musician can bring their unique persona into a film and elevate a moment into something truly iconic. Flea embodies the counterculture spirit, adding a brilliant, colorful splash to the movie. It's just cool. Let's talk about a cameo on the gritty side. Catherine Bigelow's Point Break drips with surf culture, adrenaline, and danger. Red Hot Chili Peppers' Anthony Kiedis plays Tone, a menacing surf punk. His scene with Keanu Reeves is pure tension. During a police raid, Tone accidentally shoots himself in the foot. It's a brave, effective cameo integrated into the film's authentic world. The best cameos aren't the ones that make you smile, but the ones that make you flinch. All right, stepping away from the sun and sand into something completely different. We're going to the desert planet of Arrakis. David Lynch's 1984 adaptation of Dune is a unique cinematic experience. In the middle of all this magnificent weirdness, you find Sting, the frontman of the Police, playing the villainous Feyd-Rautha Harkonnen. It's a full-blown, scene-stealing performance that is as bizarre as it is unforgettable. Sting leans into the role with a kind of wild, theatrical glee that is just mesmerizing to watch. His character is the nephew of the grotesque Baron Harkonnen, and Sting portrays him as this arrogant, cruel, and almost angelic-looking psychopath. The performance is so over the top, but in the context of Lynch's surreal vision, it works perfectly. He brings a kind of punk rock swagger to the role, a defiant energy that makes him stand out even amongst a cast of seasoned actors. Of course, you can't talk about Sting in Dune without mentioning the winged metal Speedo. It is, without a doubt, one of the most iconic and frankly audacious costumes in cinema history. It's a moment that perfectly encapsulates the film's blend of the absurd and the intimidating. It takes a certain kind of confidence, a rock star level of confidence, to pull that off. And Sting does it without blinking. He owns the moment, making it both ridiculous and strangely cool at the same time. Sting's performance as Fade Rauther is a masterclass in committed, fearless acting. He created a villain who is both beautiful and monstrous, a punk rock prince on a dystopian planet. It's a cameo that has become legendary, a perfect marriage of a musician's larger-than-life persona and a director's fantastically strange vision, truly one for the ages. Sometimes acting is about diving in with a character that feels real. That's what Joan Jett did in Light of Day. She plays Patti Raznick, a woman with troubles on her shoulders. She's the heart of a bar band alongside her brother, played by Michael J. Fox. It's a performance that bleeds authenticity. As Patti, she lets you see the cracks. The music is woven into the story. It's the language these characters use when words fail. The songs are extensions of the narrative. It's more than a cameo, it's a leading role. Whether it's on a record or on a screen, they have this innate ability to connect. Joan Jett in Light of Day is a brilliant example of this. Now from the heartfelt to the wonderfully dystopian. You picture Mick Fleetwood and you immediately think behind that massive drum kit for Fleetwood Mac, this gentle, towering figure keeping the beat. So seeing him pop up in as Mick, the underground resistance leader, is one of those brilliant, unexpected moments cinema gives you. He's fighting against the totalitarian regime that forces Arnold Schwarzenegger into a deadly game show. A departure from singing about rumors or landslides, isn't it? He brings quiet, dignified authority to the role, orchestrating the rebellion from the shadows, broadcasting the truth to the masses. Not a flashy part, but a crucial one. The moral compass in a world gone mad with spectacle and violence. There's art imitating life here. Mick's always been involved in activism and speaking his mind, so seeing him fight the system feels right. Think about the film's message, this wild satire on media, celebrity, and government control. Pretty ahead of its time. All right, let's talk about a true chameleon, David Bowie. His entire career was built on transformation, on creating characters from Ziggy Stardust to the Thin White Duke. So when he stepped into acting, it never felt like a gimmick. It felt like a natural extension of his art. He wasn't just playing a role, he was becoming someone else entirely. And his turn as Colin, the impossibly cool and charming British hitman in the 1985 movie Into the Night, was unforgettable. He just glides into the film and you can't take your eyes off him. He's not your typical movie assassin, all scowls and brute force. No, Colin is smooth, he's polite, he's witty, he's dressed impeccably. He could be at a dinner party one minute and dispatching someone with cold efficiency the next. Bowie plays him with this incredible charisma, this almost playful detachment that makes him even more terrifying. You find yourself liking him, even though you know he's the villain. It's that magnetic quality Bowie had. The film itself is this chaotic, sprawling nighttime adventure through Los Angeles full of quirky characters and unexpected turns. And then in the middle of it all is Bowie, this beacon of calm, collected lethality. His scenes with Jeff Goldblum are particularly brilliant. It's a small role really, but it's one of the most memorable things about the entire film, a truly unforgettable cameo. Right, so picture this. You're watching one of the most intense, chilling films ever made. The air is thick, you're on the edge of your seat, heart thumping like a kick drum during the final encore. It's the climax of The Silence of the Lambs, a film that really gets under your skin in a way few others do. Clarice Starling is navigating that terrifying basement, and the tension is just, well, it's everything. And then just as the cavalry arrives, you see a familiar face leading the charge, a face you usually associate with heartbreak and vintage cool, not tactical gear. It's a moment that can pull you out of the film for a split second in the best way. There he is, Chris Isaak, the man whose voice can make you feel like you're slow dancing under a single spotlight in a dusty, forgotten ballroom. He's known for that incredible falsetto, those beautiful melancholic songs like Wicked Game, which just completely defined a certain kind of mood in the early 90s, but here, in this moment, he's not a crooner. He's a SWAT commander, all business, shouting orders, leading his team into a house of horrors. It's such a brilliant little piece of casting, a contrast that's both jarring and strangely perfect. A little sliver of daylight in a film that's so profoundly dark and unsettling. Director Jonathan Demme was a massive music fan, you see. He had this incredible knack for weaving musicians into his films, not just on the soundtrack, but on the screen itself. For Isaac, this wasn't a starring role, not by a long shot. It was a quick blink and you'll miss it part. All right, let's shift gears completely. From the psychological depths of a thriller to the pure, unadulterated fun of an 80s body swap comedy. These films were everywhere back then, a whole genre built on the chaos of seeing the world through someone else's eyes. In Vice Versa, you've got Judge Reinhold as a stressed-out department store executive, and Fred Savage as his 11-year-old son. A mysterious Tibetan skull causes them to switch bodies, and well, you can imagine the rest. It's light, it's silly, and it's a perfect time capsule. And what's an 80s time capsule without a proper rock and roll scene? It was almost a requirement. The newly 11 in a grown-up's body character, Marshall, finds himself in a proper rock club. The lights are low, the smoke machine is working overtime, and the sound is massive. On stage, tearing through a performance with all the energy and swagger of the Sunset Strip is the band Malice. They're not playing characters, they are simply Malice, delivering a full-throated performance of their track, Crazy in the Night, which wonderfully isn't even on the official soundtrack album. It's a moment purely for the film itself. It's a fun, loud, and brilliantly 80s moment, captured forever in the amber of this classic comedy. Sometimes a cameo isn't just a fun little nod or a quick appearance. Sometimes it carries the entire weight of the film's message on its shoulders. And sometimes it's just perfect. Kevin Smith's Dogma is a film that's bursting with ideas. It's funny, it's controversial, it's deeply personal, and it's a wild theological road trip. After 2 hours of fallen angels, apostles, demons, and muses, the film has to answer its biggest question: what or who is God? How do you even begin to cast that role? It's a challenge, to say the least. You need someone with a certain kind of presence. Enter Alanis Morissette. At the time, she was one of the biggest music stars on the planet. Jagged Little Pill had been a cultural phenomenon, an album that gave voice to a generation's angst, passion, and intelligence. Her voice was powerful, unmistakable, and carried a kind of knowing wisdom. Kevin Smith had originally wanted to play the part himself, but he felt it wasn't right. He needed someone who could embody the film's quirky, loving, and ultimately serene vision of the divine. He chose Alanis, and it was an inspired choice, a piece of casting that felt both surprising and, in retrospect, completely inevitable. Her appearance is the film's climax. She descends from the heavens, not with thunder and lightning, but with a playful, gentle energy. She's wearing a simple jacket, looking more like a friendly traveler than an omnipotent being. She doesn't speak a word for most of her screen time. Instead, she communicates through pure, joyful being, and then she finally does speak. Her one and only sound is a deafening, angelic shriek that literally makes heads explode. By casting a rock star known for her powerful voice and introspective lyrics, Smith found a way to portray God that was modern, relatable, and deeply hopeful. Absolutely brilliant. Ghostbusters is one of those films that's just part of the furniture of our childhood. It's got that perfect blend of funny and spooky, and the chemistry between the lads is just brilliant. It's a film that's so packed with iconic moments that you might think you've seen everything there is to see. But during that massive final showdown on the rooftop of 550 Central Park West, there's a face you might not expect to see. For just a second, the camera pans across the onlookers, and there he is, Ron Jeremy. He's just there, an extra in the crowd, caught up in the supernatural madness. It's one of those bits of film trivia that feels like an urban legend until you see it for yourself. It adds this whole other layer of surreal behind-the-scenes history to a movie that's already bursting with personality. A secret handshake hidden in plain sight in one of the biggest blockbusters of all time. Classic. Trick or Treat from 1986 is a cult classic, a love letter to headbanging anthems and the moral panic that surrounded them. It's about Eddie, obsessed with rock star Sammy Kerr. When Sammy dies, things get supernatural. Gene Simmons plays Nuke, a radio DJ who gives Eddie Sammy's last recording. The record brings Sammy back from the dead. Gene's role is pivotal, establishes the film's tone and mythology. He plays it with cool rock and roll swagger. Trick or Treat doesn't stop at one rock cameo. The film throws you a curveball dripping with irony and genius casting. The story is about the supposed evil of rock music, a real theme at the time. Parents and TV personalities believed heavy metal was corrupting the youth. The poster boy, Ozzy Osbourne. In a stroke of comedic brilliance, Trick or Treat casts Ozzy as a televangelist. It's perfect irony. He's railing against rock and roll, warning parents. It's beautifully self-aware, a wink to the audience. It's one of the best rock star cameos, making a powerful, hilarious point. We're talking about a voice, Iggy Pop in Hardware. He plays Angry Bob, a radio DJ from War Radio. Who else could voice a society that's completely fallen apart? His broadcasts are a constant presence through the irradiated airwaves, setting the sonic tone of this broken future. His monologues are nuggets of nihilistic poetry. It adds so much depth to the world building. It's more powerful that you don't see him. His voice is another layer of dust and rust on every surface, a ghost in the machine right before the machine goes on a rampage. It grounds the whole sci-fi horror story in something painfully real. He's the spirit of Hardware. So there you have it. A few more moments where the lines blurred between the stage and the screen, between the rock star and the character actor. It's a beautiful thing, isn't it? Seeing these artists we know for their sound, for their music, step into a different kind of light and show us another side of themselves. Sometimes it's funny, sometimes it's terrifying, but it's always interesting. We could probably do about 10 more of these videos. The list just goes on and on. It's a lovely little corner of cinema history to get lost in. But for now, that's our time. Thank you so much for hanging out, for watching, and for listening. It really does mean the world. If you enjoyed this and you'd like to see more, you know what to do. There's a little button down there that says subscribe to What We Know. It would be lovely if you'd give it a click and maybe tap the like button as well, just to let us know we're on the right track. It helps more than you know, and it means we can keep digging for these kinds of stories to share with all of you. Be good to each other out there. There's enough noise in the world, so let's try to make some of it kind. Look after yourselves, and we'll see you again for the next one. All the love.